So this is where I work. This is where I build the instruments. And here's the box for a delivery for Bobby Adams' bass when it goes out there to him. Still waiting to get it back from the paint shop. These are some custom builds that I did for myself. I own a couple guitars. And I sold a couple guitars. And I've made a few. This is where I work. This is the workstation. I pretty much do everything here. And what's really cool is I have an old school television so Big Brother can't spy on me. Because I don't like that too much. You know, with these smart TVs, those in the know, you're being watched probably by not only our government, but China. Anyway, yeah, this is a sort of like not only like a place to work, but it's also a place for me to rehearse and work on my own music. It's a nice little place, nice little space, I should say. That's all it is. And here are the tools that I use. Believe it or not, I use scissors more than you would think in the guitar game. I've got my, my little needle nose here and a couple of pliers. Got my cutters. And then in my little toolbox here, of course, glasses, different intensities of these glasses, like these are 3.75, so I can get really close, like when I'm doing wiring or meticulous work where I need to look closely, because my eyes ain't like they used to be. And then these are just regular cheats. Of course, I got all my tools here. This thing is awesome because it fits right around the posts basically on most of the sizes, including of course the tuning pegs. So it makes it very easy to work with. And these are the required tools as far as the basic tools. And then of course in here you'll see there's some Allen wrenches, a bunch of other things I use, multiple different types of screwdrivers and sizes, Allen wrenches, things of that nature, star wrenches. You need a lot of that here when we do this type of work. And then over here, you have the garbage can. It's pretty nasty. This is another side of the game for either doing paint work, prep work, types of if you're removing stain or putting stain on. I do a lot of natural wood stuff. I really like natural wood, and I do that stuff myself. These guitars are all, basically sanded and covered with a acrylic coat. Actually, it's this beautiful polyacrylic that I use. And it's awesome because it's water-based. So if it's not really dry yet, you could still help it out with some water using one of the brushes. You have one that's clean and the other one you work with. Generally, it doesn't matter which one or any types, so that you can lift off the excess with the dry one. And then also have a wet one handy because it's acrylic, like I said. So you have the ability to do easy cleanups if doesn't match the grain. Because the whole idea of doing this is the grain. If you notice, there's a grain, so you have to, for lack of a better word, paint. Even though it's really you're just really clear coating within the grain to get it to match. And then sometimes it's a little off, and then while it's still wet, what's nice, you can, like I said, use you can even use a sponge technically, or a towel, but I prefer to use just use a separate wet one, and you just sort of put it into place where it needs to go. And for the most part, these are the basic tools. And then over here, I've got a plethora of stuff. And this is where I got my hammers and my saws and drills and obviously a lot of paper, excuse me, a lot of towels. Got my drill here, and over here I have my sander. I keep my sander here because it's plugged in that Target bag, my palm sander. So everything's accessible and easy to get to, and that's what's really nice about this little room. And again, just a lot of tools here. And then, of course, oh boy, we got spare parts galore. I mean, everything from pick guards and pickup covers to every type of screw you could need in this game, every type of color. I got gold pickup covers, and I have 2 boxes of this actually, type of stuff. And I keep accumulating it, as part of the regiment. And that is really the gist of it for the most part. My soldering iron and everything is my solder kit. Where's that? I think it's the only thing I didn't show you. Yeah, here it is. It's in with all my tools. I put all the tools here. The drills, the various tools that are needed. Like obviously, you have to do a lot of work with power tools in this game. And I'm happy to be working with John Searle soon. Next weekend, we're going to start cutting bodies. So we'll be cutting our own bodies. And I mean like wood bodies, not humans. But yeah, so then this is where the soldering, I use these soldering tools. I got my the flux that I use. And I have a nice little, I think it's a 50 watt or 60 watt. Just because you need them to be strong. You want them to have power. The soldering iron, you want them to be hot. You want to be able to melt that thing quick. For the most part, without going over Vinny's place, I mean, this is really my abode. This is where I work. This is how I do it. In fact, I have some interesting things to see. Like, for example, if you look right here at this particular headstock, that headstock originally looked like this. So that headstock looked like this. This became that. And that's what I do when I put these shark fin headstocks. That's the shark fin edition. And you could see, I'm not going to say how I did it. I mean, it was a various little thing. But I didn't even use a saw on this one. I'll put it that way. It was all done with sanders, if you can believe it. Yeah, I guess I did give away the trade secret. In this way, you have a little more control over it, because when you're cutting, this way you sand it, it slowly moves down to the shape you want. And you can see I shaved quite a bit off, because this is exactly the same neck, by the way. It's just not been treated, of course, and it's not been... but this is exactly the same neck. All right, I guess that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video, just so you can get an idea of my workspace and how NemaGuitars are made. And I hope you found it to be informative, and I hope that you subscribe. I never say that enough. Subscribe and like the videos. And by all means, send me an inquiry at Howard Nema. Oh, that's... actually, wrong place. Send me an inquiry. For those that know me, it's a funny little faux pas there. Send me an inquiry at NemaGuitars@gmail.com. God bless you all. Till next time.